I'm naturally a pretty lazy person. However, I've never had a problem when it comes to scrolling on my phone, binge watching Netflix, or playing video games. A few things I have had problems with though, staying consistent at the gym, actually working on my side business. I feel like I would always get to these points where it's like, all right, I need to make a change, and I will make a change for like 2 weeks, and then I'll lose motivation and stop, and then that's like a constant cycle that I ran through for years. But over the past couple of years, I have been able to kind of trick myself into doing all the things that I know will make me bettering myself and learning new skills. And it's not because I am constantly motivated or I have some insane willpower. It's actually just because I learned some things that help me understand psychology and really just trick my brain into doing the things that I actually want to do. To start off with, I changed my input. I think a perfect example of this is what happened just a couple days ago. I was watching probably too much YouTube. One of them was the Outdoor Boys, pretty much this dude out solo camping in the woods. And then another one was my good friend Moses the jeweler, who I have never met. And he cooked some steak tacos. Now, because I watched that YouTube video, the next day I started a fire, got some steak, and made steak tacos. I would never have done that if I had not watched that YouTube video. And then the day after that, I did it again, but this time I also made flatbread from extra sourdough we had lying around. I would never have done that if it was not for watching the Outdoor Boys doing the same thing. So because of my inputs, my actions changed. I thought it was an original idea. I thought, you know what, steak, that sounds good. I like steak tacos. Let's try to make some of those. I would never have had that idea otherwise. But that was not my idea. It was because of the inputs I had into my life. And looking back over my life, even back to, I think the first and like biggest one, which was real estate, I had been listening to Bigger Pockets podcast and reading real estate books for like 2 years. A little over 2 years. I listened to every podcast they had out at that point, which was like over hundreds and thousands of hours listening to this stuff, focusing on it. And because of that, I ended up getting a rental property and then another and then another. And it was because my input was constantly like, buying rentals is normal. It's totally possible. Anybody can do this. Anybody can reach freedom early. Anybody can do this stuff. And because it was so normalized to me, that's what the people I surrounded myself were doing. I went to real estate masterminds and met people doing it. I started to connect with local investors. I listened to all these podcasts and I just changed my input. And because of that, physical things started to happen. I almost couldn't help myself. And I've gone through the shifts of this over the years where I will listen to and watch and consume tons of content on fitness. And then next thing I know, going to the gym constantly. I'm getting in shape. I'm eating healthier. And I don't have to try to do that. It's just normalized because that's all I see constantly. It was like, going to the gym is good for you. Eating healthy makes you feel better. You know, the podcasts I listen to, all of my inputs, I have started to curate so that they make me the person that I want to be. We've all heard this quote that you're the average of the 4 people you hang out with most. Well, I would argue that this has changed for the digital world. So who you follow on social media, the YouTube videos you watch, the podcasts, the books, everything that you're consuming, that's going to change who you are. So if you want to change who you are, change who you're subscribed to. I regularly now go through my social media and just, if I see people that are like, this does not make me a better person, I just unfollow them. And if I want to get more on health stuff, I'll just like, hey, you know, fitness, curls, pizza. Not pizza, curls, fitness, abs. And then next thing I know, my Instagram feed is like all over the place. That's kind of creepy. But the point is, if you can change what's coming in, you will change your actions without having to think about it, just because that's what you will naturally want to be. You'll want to be like those heroes. You'll want to be like the people that you look up to. But a quote that I think I heard from my mom was, if junk's coming in, junk's gonna go out. And that's why even the small things like my everyday coffee, I have tried to set myself up for success and make staying healthy pretty easy. Because like with my morning coffee, I don't add like cream and sugar. I buy nice coffee, I make the right amount so that I don't get the jitters. And then the only thing that I've been adding to it is this thing called the Good Stuff, which is actually really good. Like, that's actually what it's called. Now, the Good Stuff is actually a brain boosting coffee supplement that's designed to go right into your coffee. It's designed to support energy and longevity in one simple scoop. Now, the cool thing is, not only does this taste wicked good, but it's also good for you. It's not like cream and sugar where it's empty calories, it's just junk, it's gonna make you crash. This actually makes you feel better every single day. For instance, we have coconut MCT oil, gives you clean and lasting energy. And if you do intermittent fasting like I do, it helps you feel full longer. It's got collagen, which helps support your joints. And as I get older, I need that. It's got cinnamon, which is full of antioxidants. And like the mocha flavor is really, really good. And just a bunch of other stuff to just help you feel better. It's all science-backed, proven ingredients. And it's honestly just like super simple and convenient. And I am all about that. And that's why I partnered with them on this video. And it's not just me, they have over 10,000 5-star reviews. For wellness subscribers, get 25% off the single purchase price for life with the option to save 30% off if you get a double subscription. If you're a new subscriber for the Good Stuff Focus, you'll also receive a free welcome kit with your first order with the ceramic canister and the metal scoop. Fits right on your countertop. They also have travel packs, which I used on a recent trip to Florida. And it was great. I could just keep my habit going. Very, very simple. You can save 25% off with your subscription. Just click the link down below. You can use the code GabeBolt and get free shipping on your first order, or you can click the QR code right there. And thank you to For Wellness and The Good Stuff for sponsoring this video. Then of course we have triggers. I have very little willpower, and if you're relying on willpower to quit doing something or to start doing something else, you're most likely gonna fail, or at least you're gonna fail after a couple of weeks, I could almost guarantee, because it's just not sustainable. We have a limited amount of it. And that's why you need to set up triggers and cues in order to make a habit that you wanna start, make that life change that you want to happen pretty much automatic without you having to really try. It just happens. For example, I use the sauna and cold plunge like 3 to 5 times a week. Been doing it for the past year. But let me tell you, the first time, it was absolutely horrible. But because I had changed my inputs and all the people I was following were doing cold plunges and saunas, and I was learning about all the benefits of it, I was like, I have to try this because of all these benefits. I want to see what it's like, you know, if I can get it. But then I needed to make kind of cues for myself. And for me, that cue is like when I go downstairs in the afternoon, I will just put on shorts. It takes like 10 seconds to do. Well, I can't really like shoot because now I have shorts on, and I don't like wearing shorts. They're kind of uncomfortable. And that's like my cue that gets me outside to like, okay, well, I've got shorts on. I'm gonna go light the sauna. I'll just jump in the cold plunge real quick, whatever. And I used to do the same thing with the gym, where I would leave a pair of workout pants lying on the bathroom table, and then when I saw those, I would just put them on, and that would be my cue to go ahead and go to the gym. Breaking it down into a couple of minutes, very simple to do. And since I am a creature of habit and I've read Atomic Habits, which if you're trying to start anything, is an amazing book, by the way, I just take advantage of setting up my environment to cue me to do the things that I want to do. Like one of the hardest things that I do is hitting record on that. I think of anything else to do ahead of time. I don't know if you're a procrastinator, but like I'll watch YouTube, I'll write a script, I'll go make food, I'll go make more food, I'll go for a walk, I'll do anything besides hit record. So I can kind of cue myself to actually make a video by quickly setting up the camera and then just clicking record, which is what I did now, which is why I'm using a book as my microphone, because I didn't plan it out enough. But just hitting record is the cue that eventually I'm not just gonna like waste all the space on my SD card, I'm just gonna sit down and shoot the video. And that's how I kind of force myself to like actually take the step to do the thing that I want to do, whether it's, you know, sitting down, opening up my laptop, going and sitting in the car so that I can go to the gym, or just clicking record on the camera. I break it down to pretty much the 2-minute rule, where I make it the smallest habit possible, commit to that and nothing else. And that is where practiced discomfort comes in. I just want to be clear that I'm not trying to glorify like this cold plunge sauna stuff. For me, it's just been the only thing that I can do that helps me manage my stress. So like it's gonna suck. Honestly, both of these suck, but I know that I will feel better the rest of the day and I'll be more productive and all that type of stuff. And so for you, that might be going to the gym, it might be cooking at home, it might be setting up a budget, whatever it is for you, but it's finding those hard things that you fear to do and then doing them anyways, because you know it will lead to a better result down the line. And as dumb as this sounds, because I've done this so many times and each time I almost don't do it, I like almost back out and I force myself to do it. When those other hard things come up, like for me, it's talking in front of people or taking on new projects, I've actually gone back and be like, if I can get in a cold plunge, if I can go into a river, surely I can do this thing. So it's like practicing doing hard things, which make the other hard things way, way easier. So that being said, I'm all done. The reason that everybody's flopping out of their New Year's resolutions like 2 weeks into the year is because of a lack of motivation. You get to that point where you're like, I got to make a change. I got to do this. Like, I'm so upset. I'm sick of being overweight, whatever it is. I'm going to go to the gym and make it happen this year. Let's go. Come on. Who's going to carry the boats? Problem is the boats are heavy. And, you know, like a couple weeks in, you realize like, oh, this isn't fun. You know, this cold water is pretty cold. I'm not enjoying myself. And I've gotten to that point, and that is where I always used to fall off the bandwagon. New Year's would come around, be new year, new me, try to make some habits. They just wouldn't stick. And it would just be this cycle of like every couple months, I'd be like, all right, I'm ready. I'm gonna make a change. And then I wouldn't make a change, or I'd make it for a couple weeks and then, you know, it's all over. And that's because I relied on motivation, and it just doesn't work. what does work is really tricking yourself. And you can do that by setting yourself up for success. It's what I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick called putting yourself in a position to get lucky. But like, if you want to read some books because you know that'll make you a better person, you'll learn valuable skills, all that yada yada stuff. Well, you can either try to force yourself to do it and you're like, I'm gonna read a chapter a day every single day and I'm gonna read a book a week for the next year. I've done that. I've read a book a week for like 6 months and it's very hard. Wouldn't recommend it. Don't even remember half the stuff you read. That being said, I read at least a page a day and I've done that for 4 years now or something like that. And that is because a couple things. One, I do habit stacking. So after I have my coffee, I sit down and I read 1 page of a book. I can't live without my coffee. That's a habit I don't need to work on. I already do it. It's something that's there. I'm gonna make coffee every morning. And now, while I drink my coffee, I read 1 page of a book. It's not very hard to do. I just took a habit, stacked another one right under there, tricked myself into doing it. After like a week, it stuck, and now I feel weird if I don't do it. But the next one is finding out what type of person I am. I am also an audio learner. So I put Audible and short form on the front of my phone screen so that they are the first things that I see, and I don't have social media on there. Only things that make me productive and are good for me are on the front of my home screen. And it's not like a huge thing because you can still get to the rest. But now when I pick up my phone, it's so much easier and I'm much more likely to read, short form, do a 1-page summary of a book that I'm, been thinking about reading or listening to it on there, or clicking on Audible and listening to a book on there. Or even like instead of social media, I put some, positive versions on there where I talk to my creator community, or I go on, Blossom, which is like social media for investors. So I learn some stuff while I'm on there. And it's not because I'm like, oh, I gotta like learn and we'll click the button. It was because that was just what was easy. I set up my environment to make the right choice really easy. And this is something that really changed my life when it came to my diet. Was I no longer have to exercise willpower when I'm at home in order to stay on my diet. I just don't have junk food. I don't really have chocolate around or bread around. I don't have desserts or ice cream in the freezer. I have like fruits, vegetables, and meat that we get from a local butcher, and pretty much nothing else in our house, or at least like not much that's in a box. So that means I don't really have to work to eat healthy. That's the only option I have. I can't break down my willpower and have a late night snack of ice cream and eat half a tub like I used to, because it's just not there. It's not in the house. And so when you set up your entire environment for your work, for your health, for everything, that's just like you don't have other options, then it's just much easier to do the right thing, because it's all there is to do. It's boring not to, you get hungry. So even though most people think that I'm a very self-disciplined person and I get a lot done, it's mostly because I just set up my environment to make it easy to, stick with the things I want to do. And I do some very small habits that make big impacts in my life, like the reading, exercising, dieting, sauna and cold plunge help a lot, not allowing anything fun on my work laptop. So I only do work when I'm on it. I'm not allowed to like watch shows on there and stuff. And it just makes it easy. And therefore I can seem self-disciplined and seem like I got a bunch of stuff done and seem like I'm really productive without really having to try, because I just don't have really many choices. So hopefully this helped you out. If you're looking to make a change, let me know down below. I've been to that point before where you're like really ready to make it happen, and it's a good place to be. Making it happen is so much more fun than hating that you're not doing anything. So yeah,